Lily was only 7 when her life quietly shifted in a way no one in her small town could have predicted. She had always been the kind of child who noticed things others overlooked: an injured bird, a forgotten kitten, a wilted flower needing water. So when she spotted the wounded German shepherd lying in a muddy patch beside a collapsing barn on her neighbor's rundown property, she didn't hesitate for a second. The dog's body was thin, his limp severe, and his coat marked with old scars that told a long story of hardship. His eyes were dull but searching, as if he was still hoping someone might finally see him. The property owner barely cared enough to look at the animal and casually muttered that the dog was not worth anything anymore, offering him to Lily for only $5. Lily's small hand shook as she reached into her pocket and pulled out the few wrinkled bills she had saved from helping her grandmother gather eggs, sweep the porch, and carry firewood. Her grandfather hesitated at first, unsure whether taking in such a broken creature was a wise idea, but Lily's determined gaze left no room for doubt. She whispered softly, "He needs someone," and that was enough for him. When they gently removed the rope tied loosely to the fence post, the dog didn't pull away or show fear, just quiet exhaustion. But the moment he slowly rose and stepped toward Lily, it felt like he had made a choice, one born out of hope rather than strength. He followed her home, each step weak yet willing. Lily named him Bruno before they even reached the barn, the name coming to her as naturally as breathing. She created a warm resting place for him with blankets, placing a bowl of clean water beside him and whispering, "You're safe now." The words seemed to settle over him like a soft blanket. The days that followed were slow and heavy. Bruno barely ate, flinched at sudden noises, and spent most of his time lying still. But Lily refused to let him sink deeper into the shadows of whatever past he carried. Every morning she checked on him before breakfast. Every evening she read stories aloud while sitting beside him. Sometimes she even fell asleep on the barn floor with her head resting against his side. Little by little, he shifted. One evening, he gave the faintest wag of his tail, so small most people would have missed it, but for Lily, it was everything. It told her he was beginning to trust again. Soon, her grandfather noticed behavior that didn't fit a normal farm dog. When a military documentary played on the television, Bruno instantly snapped into an alert stance, ears high, eyes locked on the screen. When Lily dropped a bucket one morning, he jumped in front of her protectively before she even reacted. And when she pointed her finger like a pretend gun during a game, he collapsed to the ground perfectly still, as if performing a trained command he had long forgotten. Her grandfather watched all this carefully, his brow furrowed with concern and curiosity. Something about Bruno's posture, discipline, and reactions hinted at a past far more structured than a neglected barnyard life. Their suspicions turned into certainty one afternoon when Lily wandered too close to the edge of the woods chasing a bright blue butterfly fluttering in the tall grass. A rustling sound erupted from the bushes, followed by a furious wild boar bursting into the open, charging straight toward her. Lily froze in terror, but Bruno moved instantly. With startling precision, he threw himself between Lily and the wild animal, growling fiercely and circling with tactical movements that could only come from specialized training. After forcing the boar to retreat, he calmly returned to Lily's side, licking her trembling hands as if to reassure her he was still there. The next day, Lily's grandfather insisted on taking Bruno to the town's animal clinic. Dr. Simmons examined him carefully, eventually pausing when he felt a small metallic object beneath Bruno's skin. He removed the damaged microchip, scanned it, and his expression changed instantly. Bruno was not a stray. He was Bravo 9, a missing military canine believed dead after an explosion 2 years earlier. The revelation stunned everyone, especially Lily, who wrapped her arms around Bruno with tears streaming down her face. The news spread quickly. Soon, people from neighboring towns arrived just to meet the resilient dog who had survived unthinkable odds. Veterans saluted him, families brought treats, and children stood in awe. At a small gathering, Lily admitted she never knew Bruno's history, only that he needed someone to love him.
With her voice trembling, she said people claimed she rescued him, but she believed he rescued her first. And standing beside her, Bruno wagged his tail softly, as if he understood.